My mobile bartending service is mixed. Just a little bit about what I do. I bartend. I've been bartending for going on 11 years. I started mixed a long time ago. When I first started bartending, it was called 21 shots. Then I developed mixed, right, within the last, I'll say 2 years, actually, 2 years. So I do baby showers, weddings, anniversaries, housewarmings, cocktail classes, Zoom or in person. Anything that you need drinks for, I do it. My motto is I mix, you mingle. Hassle-free is nothing worse than doing an event, having something at your house, and then you're running back and forth and you're bartending and you're trying to figure out how to mix things. You're Googling, you're looking up things when you can hire a professional, me. Sorry, it looks crooked in the thing, but you can hire a professional like me who can do it all, and you can just sit back, relax, sip on your cocktails, and do your thing, right? So that's me. It's a little bit about me. Like I said, I've been bartending almost 11 years. In this video, I wanted to start doing these videos when I'm ironing. I actually don't work today. I work tomorrow, but I wanted to definitely make sure I do a video today because I'm going to post them every Wednesday. This is driving me. But, yeah, so I got what I'm wearing tomorrow out. I'm ready to iron it because this is a very important part of the day. I have a ritual that I do. I get up in the morning, I do some yoga, I read, I meditate, I go to the gym, I come back, I work on content for myself, and Cannibal and Craft Little Rock is where I do most of my bartending at. I do content for them, I do their social media, so that's something new I started. So I'm just doing it all, and this is a nice therapeutic time before you go to work, because working in the service industry, you deal with people, any customer service type of deal, and I like to have my mind mentally prepared and ready to go when it's time to deal with any and everybody. I work in the downtown area. It's no telling what you're gonna get. I get all type of clientele, and so this is my time to like get mentally focused, get mentally prepared. So for our first episode, I know some of you guys may have saw a little snippet I posted, but I did this to give more insight into the hospitality industry, specifically focusing on bartending, because a lot of people see us running around, we're smiling, we're doing our thing, we're pouring drinks, some of us are taking shots, not me, but nobody, unless you're in the hospitality industry or know someone in the hospitality industry, you never really know what's going through our heads, what's going on behind the scenes, because we're not actors, but when we step into the role of being a bottle girl, a bartender, a waitress, a manager, a hostess, anything like that, it is like going on stage. When I worked at one of my restaurants, I'll talk about through the episodes, I do talk about like how it is going on stage. Like I go on stage. I am myself. And that's the great thing about the hospitality industry. It's all sorts of people from all different backgrounds in it. And we can truly go out and go to work and be ourselves, you know. So, like initially I was saying, what I wanted to talk about in this first episode was how I got into the industry. So, I don't know if people, maybe if you've been around the restaurant industry, maybe you just grow up and like, I want to be a waiter. I don't know. That's not how I thought I was actually going to be a basketball coach. I have a lot of basketball. I play basketball. Have a lot of members in my family that have played competitive basketball, so that's what I thought I was going to do. I also did a stint in the military. I did patient transport, pharmacy tech. I've done a lot of different things, and this is the one I can say I've stuck with the longest, right? Tomorrow I'm wearing this blue flowery shirt that I got from Express, which is kind of restricting, but whatever. So the way I got into the service industry, I actually got fired from a job. Sorry, Mom, because I didn't tell you that. But I got fired at this job. And I was thinking, what can I do that I spent a lot of money on? And one of the great things the military taught me was how to drink. And I'm a party animal a little bit. And so I was doing a lot of drinking. And I'm like, I should become a bartender. My best friend, Bam, we lived together at the time. She's actually a bartender, too. told me about a bartending school. It was an old school guy named Jerry. I went to it. A lot of people look at me crazy. A lot of bartender service people judging me for going to bartending school, but that was very helpful. It helped me advance a lot quicker than back in the day you would see in the restaurant industry. Back in the day, you wanted to be a bartender. If you didn't have experience, you had to be on the floor, you had to serve, you had to wait till somebody got fired or quit or got a better opportunity, something like that. And I didn't want to serve, I wanted to bartend, so I needed my serving time to go back by as quickly as possible. So what I did was I got a job at the local Applebee's, which I think starting off corporate is a great way to do. It sets the foundation to come, because now I work at a place that you really need experience to be in, and places that are a little far advanced in hospitality don't really have time to teach the basics of serving and bartending. So I got the job at Applebee's. I got it when I started bartending school, because I know they said at least they wanted me to serve a month. Bartending school was a month. So by the time I finished bartending school, I would be able to hop right on into bartending. And so that was strategic planning on my part. So I got my first job, Applebee's. As you know, I don't know if you guys do know or don't know, in most states, servers are paid $2.63, bartenders too. Sometimes bartenders can get a little bit more because we have more responsibility. So we truly do rely on those tips. But I wasn't used to having a job where I took cash home every day. And that's one of the things I tell people about getting involved in the hospitality industry. Because what I would run into a lot is people would kind of look down on the hospitality industry. They didn't want to be a butler or, you know, somebody just running around doing all that. And it's so much more to it. To be honest, it's really a hidden gem, because it's probably some of the easiest money I've ever made in my life. At Applebee's, I was averaging $100 a night. That's $500 a week that I'm taking home right then. So I think I was working about 5 nights. So I started out doing that. I made a mistake that some bartenders tend to make, is I like to drink. So of course I got comfortable, and I mean, a lot of people say, you know, I couldn't be a bartender because I can't take the pressure of not drinking on the job. Well, I fell into that trap of drinking on the job, and Mom, that's how I got fired from that one. But I learned so much. I'm glad that I made a mistake like that somewhere like an Applebee's versus where I continued to progress, because after Applebee's, right, I had all this visualized out. Like, I'm really at the point in my career that I've been talking about since I first started at Applebee's. I said that I would work at Applebee's for a year. Then I wanted to move on to something more advanced. I got the job at Bravo, RIP's in the Promenade in Little Rock. It was an Italian restaurant. They gave me, now I'm introduced to wines, because Applebee's had wines, but, you know, Southern Home, all that. I mean, no disrespect to it, but, you know, let's work with some Cabs, some Malbecs, some Chiantis, right? So I got into red wines, white wines. I started doing more advanced cocktails, muddling and doing different things with fruit. That's also another great part about going to bartending school is, granted, I didn't have the experience. I couldn't move around the bar and have that flow, but I knew a lot of the terminology, right? I knew what a muddler was. I knew how to open a bottle of wine. Like, I knew what it felt like to actually shake a drink. So, like I said, bartending school really did give me that foundation. You don't have to go to bartending school, of course, but I did, and it turned out for me. Turned out for me? It worked out for me. Turned out for me. All right. So I got the job at Bravo, right? I worked there actually for 4 years. I worked Martini Wednesdays, which so I am great at lemon drops, Manhattans, anything like that. And they gave me another great foundation. Honestly, I started to get burned out at Bravo. I mean, I was there for 4 years, you know. I think I did a pretty good job. And so then I took a break because I was burned out, and I went to another restaurant, Local Luna, here in Little Rock, and I served for 2 weeks, and that just wasn't for me. Bartending is like being in your own office. It's like being a manager. You know, you have your own space. Usually people, because we're pouring your liquor, respect the bartender a little more. What I noticed that people were meaner to me when I served. And I don't know, it's because I'm not like making their drinks or what, but they were meaner to me. But I did that for a couple of months. That wasn't for me. Then I got my break into the Capitol Hotel Bar and Grill, which is like here in Little Rock, one of the top places to bartend. And that's when I just got a plethora of knowledge. Now I'm working with sommeliers. I'm working with people who, a lot of people just think hospitality industry can be for people who just, don't know what they're doing with their life. It's not a real job, high school students, young kids paying for college, stuff like that. But when I got to the Capitol Bar and Grill, I started to notice like, oh, this is what these people do. Like, these people are making $50,000, $60,000 a year as a server to do this. That also has a lot to do with your clientele. We'll get on to that in other episodes. But then I got my spark back. I'm like, okay, my confidence is back. I worked with some people who have been doing it 20 years now instead of just 5 or 10. And they just took me in. Now I'm making different simple syrups and learning different cocktails. We had a lot of free range, so now I'm getting drinks on the menu. So I went from Applebee's making dollar Long Islands to now coming up with my own, and this is like year 7 or 8, coming up with my own cocktails to actually put on a menu, which is super exciting. So this is like right before the pandemic. Pandemic happens. I actually, in March, literally got a job to bar manage at a bar downtown. And I was super excited because I'm like, now I get to put even more input. Everything has to be lateral because this is a profession that can be a dead-end profession and you get stuck in it. I never wanted to get stuck in it because I've been seeing people around the industry that's stuck there. Like, no shade to the more commercial corporate places like the Applebee's, the Chili's, the TGI Fridays, things like that. But I knew that my career could never end there because, one, the money is not as great, the clientele is not as great, the skill knowledge, everything is just not as great. And I knew that if this was something I was going to do, that I was just going to have to keep climbing the ladder. So pandemic is happening. I just got this bar managing job. I'm at the Capitol Bar and Grill. Everything is going great. Boom, pandemic happens. Restaurants are like the most evil people in the world right now, so we're all shut down. We're getting that great unemployment that we were getting, but I still continue to make drinks. I started to cook more, and then I really, before they even called us back to work, before my unemployment was out, I went back to work because I just thrive in the environment. I love meeting people. Like I said, the money, whether for unemployment and me actually working, was about the same. So I went back to work and I worked at this bar downtown for about a year. And shame to say, the bar next door was opening and I knew these people, right? So I'm like, cool, like I know this person. I bartended with him in the Promenade. Jared, shout out to Jared. We work together now. We kind of moved around the Promenade together, and all these different people that have been in the industry, if not longer, as long as I am. And so I'm like, well, these are the people that I need to be around. And I had learned craft style cocktails when I was at the Capitol Bar and Grill, and this is exactly what Cannibal and Craft is. It's craft cocktails. And now I have even more knowledge because we're doing tiki drinks as well, and that's a Polynesian style of drinks. And I wasn't really familiar with that, so I'm just gaining knowledge, and this is where I am now. So it went from something as small as, I like to drink, let's make cocktails. All through my 20s, partying, making crazy mistakes. Being a bartender is like being a rock star. And now I'm at the point where this is what I do. I have my own business. I do private events. I'm one of the faces for where I work now. I'm actually reaching that peak level of bartending, but the learning never stops. I learned so much from my GM and from other bartenders around me and service industry people that do this as a career. And I'm really thankful from where I've come, Applebee's, to now. I mean, I got it from the bottom up. Some people that get the opportunity to start off in a wonderful place like the Capitol Bar and Grill or Cannibal and Craft or something like that. But I really started at the bottom, got the foundation, and moved up a ladder. And so when people, I take what I do very seriously. I'm not just someone who's Googling or pick up a recipe book at TJ Maxx and got me a shaker and stuff, and now I'm just doing cocktails. Like, I do cocktails. I know history on cocktails. I know the reasons behind certain things and liquor. So it's been a great opportunity. I encourage anyone who maybe need a part-time job or whatever, give the hospitality industry a chance. We are special people because, of course, you have to have a plethora of patience and understanding, and you have to, because when people come and visit the restaurant, you know, you're kind of making or breaking their night. Some people come to grieve. Some people are coming to celebrate anniversaries. I've been a part of proposals, wedding. I mean, very monumental moments in people's lives, and you have to know that going in that it's a job where you can't bring your problems to work, because you have to put on that smile and you have to make people's moments worth it. You have to make it special for them. And that's what I've probably come to appreciate the most about my job, is seeing this look on somebody's face when they taste a drink. Or we just had a birthday at Cannibal and Craft, and we had the sign and got the sparklers out, and we decorated the plate, and you know, everybody's got their phones out, and it's a really exciting thing to be a part of. I always say bartending definitely keeps me young. It keeps me involved in the music. It keeps me involved with everything that's going on with the world. Not to mention, it's a skill that I can take anywhere. I can move to any town, any city, and say, boom, here's my resume. This is what I do. Just put me behind the bar. I just need to learn you guys' signature cocktails, you know? And making cocktails is universal. Some people are like, how do you remember all that? But it's like cooking or anything in life that you're used to doing. You group things together, you pair things together, you just automatically know measurements. It's just about what you put into it, and the studying you do. I do study on my off time. I learn different things on my off time. I'm very involved. So I know that, you know, some of you guys, especially locals, like me, see me bartending, and they're like, oh, she really knows what she's doing. But I didn't always. I remember starting off at Applebee's, my first shift ever. And yes, I've opened tons of wine bottles, but that was my first time opening a wine bottle in front of people, because we are on stage, and I couldn't do it. And the guest in front of me just laughed at me. And that day I really had to question, like, am I going to be able to do this? Because bartending not only is a skill that you need to know, but it's about the confidence, you know, and I'm scared, I'm nervous and trying to figure it out, and people are laughing, but that's an experience that I take with me and I bring with me, and I love to share with you guys, because it's not always easy. I've dropped bottles, I've messed up drinks. This past year even, I made a white tea shot, which is like a green tea shot with tequila, and I knew it was nasty. I like to taste my drinks, and I'm like, man, I know this drink is nasty, but I gave it to the guests anyway, because maybe they'll tell me. I'm gonna ask them if it's okay. Can I please make you anything else? And I heard her out the side of my ear, like, this is nasty. And she just put it down, and she didn't even drink it. And I think stuff like that just happens, you know. You never stop learning. I'm not perfect. I'm not the perfect cocktail maker. I'm not a super flair bartender or anything like that. I like to pride myself on being personable with the guest and giving a relatable, happy experience. I should have ironed my pants while talking, but they're like over there, and I was in the zone. I didn't want to stop. So the video is only supposed to be 10 to 15 minutes long. We're going to 20 on this, so I probably have to change it. I think 20 minutes is a good time for anything I'm going to talk about usually. I'm pretty long-winded, so I could talk for days, you know. But I want to hold you guys' attention. I didn't want to give you an hour spiel into something that, you know, you couldn't get an hour spiel. Now you want to call me and talk about it, I'll talk your ear off. But I just wanted to give you guys a little insight, do the first episode, tell you guys how I got into bartending, the steps that I've taken, how it's improved my life financially. It's been a rocky road, because like I said, you're kind of a rock star. But it's been a great opportunity to expand my public speaking skills, being relatable to any type of clientele. I've worked at clubs, fine dining, you name it, craft cocktails, hip hop clubs. Now I'm kind of like we're a little bit of everything at Cannibal and Craft. So it's been amazing to serve you guys. If I have ever served you, if I haven't, I would love for you to have me. I'll have all my information below. Usually at Cannibal and Craft, my schedule is from Thursday to Saturdays. Of course, when we do our once a month brunch, from Thursdays to Sundays. So yeah, I'm Taylor. I'm with Mixed. Information will be at the bottom, and I look forward to our next episode. I don't know what I want to talk about the next one, but I'm sure it'll be good. Thank you guys for taking 20 minutes out of your time to listen. I appreciate it.